This week on the Steam Machine podcast, we did some observing, both of security cameras and on the range. Cue the music! Actually, before we cue the music, this is post-production, Dalton. We didn't realize until a few minutes into the episode that my mic was recording through my webcam and not my actual microphone. So you will hear me realize that, and then magically it'll fix. But I do apologize for the first few minutes of the show because I sound pretty rough. Now, without further ado, cue the music.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always, my good buddies.
What up? It's the Destructo Bros Part 1, the youngest of the two. It's Nate.
I'm the older sequel, Willie.
They are the Destructo Bros. And
you know, that also makes sense because Red Dead 2 takes place before Red Dead 1.
True.
This is true. Boys, it has been 2 weeks. How you doing? Let's start with Willie. Willie, how you doing, my good sir?
You know, before the recording I said I was kind of grumpy and tired, but after being on the call for a little bit, I'm feeling a little bit better. I still might take a nap after we're done, but that's about it. Ankle's still bugging me, blah, blah, blah.
Word. Well, it's good to have you back, sir.
Yep.
Nate, what about you, buddy? What you been up to?
Man, I'm trying to think if I've done anything legitimately interesting. Well, this is a little interesting, I guess. I went back to my ear surgeon after like a year after my surgery. It's been a little over a year now, but yeah, I went back to him and got the recommendation. And I think next week I have an appointment to go in and get some hearing aids. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Because your boy has terrible hearing, and apparently terrible hearing also leads to Alzheimer's. So if I could start wearing hearing aids at a young age, maybe I can mitigate the chances of me getting Alzheimer's when I'm old. So that's something I'm going to be doing this coming up soon. I'll let you know how it goes. The thing I don't really know or understand about it completely is because a lot of time I spend on headphones, right? Because when I'm calls for meetings at work, because I work from home, I'm always on these headphones when I'm in a call or playing video games, or I'm in headphones a lot. So I'm kind of curious, do I need to wear the hearing aids when I have the headphones on, or just when I'm out in the real world? So I guess that'll be a question for the people I meet to do the hearing aid test and all that kind of stuff. But
I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish though.
No, go ahead. Ask the questions.
Okay, so 1. So I went to school with a girl who was born like deaf.
Mm-hmm.
But she had some sort of like, I think they were called colloquial implants,
Mm-hmm.
and they looked like looked like little things that you could like, you know how like when you snap a button on something,
Yeah.
like I'll call it the female part of the snap.
Yeah.
That's what they looked like, just like right behind her ears, but she could hear. Is that something they only do for situations like that, or is that something that like if yours were to progressively get worse, that's something they could do to help it?
Yeah, I think if they got really, really bad, that's something that they could do. That hasn't, like, I can hear okay, you know, like it's not like the end of the world, but like where I really struggle is like and this happened to me recently, is like if I'm in a crowded room and there's like watching a speaker or something and there's background noise and stuff, I have a lot of trouble making out what the speaker is saying. So the hearing aids should help with that a bit. Yeah, but like if it got progressively worse, I think that is something that they could do, but like we're not close to that phase of my hearing loss yet, but you know, I'm still relatively young. We'll see where I am in 20 more years.
Oh, no, yeah. I was just curious where that would come along in the spectrum, because I don't know how serious of a thing that actually is to have those, you know, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
My second question is, do you plan on trolling the people who don't know you, and then they come up to you, they see you're wearing hearing aids, so they, like, talk loud and slow, and you'd be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, they're just,
Oh, I will.
like, hey,
Well, absolutely do that. The thing about hearing aids these days, too, though, is like they're a lot less noticeable than the hearing aids our parents or grandparents wore. So, like, you can get some you can barely even notice. So, I'm not going to cheap out on it. I'm going to buy the ones that work the best and look the best. Let's be real on that.
You're going to get some Beats by Dre hearing aids.
My grandpa wears them, and his are relatively low profile.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not something I'll cheap out on. But also in Dale updates, I've finally gotten to where I'm handling Dale. Like, I had him out for like 10 minutes the other night, like 2 nights ago, holding him and getting him more used to the idea of like, oh, this giant ape isn't going to eat me. So, like, slowly building him up to where he knows that I am not here to devour him whole. So...
Has he been trying to devour you back?
He did bite me the other night. Like, it was only once, and then he chilled out a lot after that. I think it's just a process, you know. They're
harmless reptile, my ass.
Yeah, exactly. Very smooth-brained creature, but we like him.
Raise hell, praise Dale.
Raise hell, praise Dale.
Raise hell, praise Dale.
Yeah.
What about
I was going
you?
to ask you about him, but you didn't bring him up.
Yeah. So what about you, Dalton? What have you been up to, bud? How's Lilith?
Lilith is driving me fucking crazy. But she's good. She's good. She's getting big. She's getting to the age now where, like, learning things is becoming easier for her. So, like, she'll sit, shake, and lay down. We're working on come. We're working on stay. And I'm trying to get her to roll over. So we'll get there. I told Mom, I said, I eventually want to get her to where I can, like, look at her and point finger guns and go, bang, bang. And she falls over. Like, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But I don't know if I have the patience to get her to do that.
Fair.
She is queen piss on my carpet in my bedroom. So I have towels in here for that. But again, I try not to blame her because she's a puppy. She has a very small bladder. And if you look up Australian Shepherds, they especially pee a lot. So it's just a learning process for her. Yeah, she's still young. She's only like 4.5 months.
Yeah, I know it's funny the other night. Like, you were like, I messaged you like, RDRO? You're like, yeah, I'm outside with Lilith. I'll be back in a few minutes. And then, like, you came back, you're like, I'm taking the Lilith out again.
Yeah. She fucking, yeah, because I'll take her outside and she'll walk around and she won't do anything, and then I'll bring her back inside and then she'll start barking at me and walking around in circles, and I'm like, oh, no. Don't even think about it. Pick her up, take her back outside, then she'll pee. I'm like, God damn it. Why didn't you just go the first time, kid? I call her kid. Even though she's not a child goat, but I do call her kid. And lily pad.
Dogs are goofy.
Lily pad.
Drives me fucking nuts. Love her to death, but she drives me nuts.
That's definitely the vibe I've got just hearing you talk to and about her when we're playing a game or something. Is all of a sudden I'll just hear, oh, Lilith, and then you're off the camera or off the mic, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened.
You guys will just hear me go, no. And then I mute the mic. I'm like, damn it. Look. Yeah, because she likes to.
You don't sound like angry so much as disappointed and alarmed.
Yeah, because so you notice this pile of pillows back here, right? Mm. Those are all stacked on my little side table by my bed, because I have a phone charger and an alarm clock up there, and she loves to try to chew on that phone charger cord. So I just cover it in pillows during the day, because she likes to get up, hop up in my bed, then walk over there and just stand on the end table. I don't know why.
She's a puppy, dude. Chewing with stuff is the main way she interacts with it.
Same.
I wish she had opposable thumbs so she could, like, play with puzzles or something else instead of chewing on everything. But so starting last night and then today, she's been drooling hella a lot. And I looked it up because it worried me. And I'm like, the first thing that popped up is puppy teething. I was like, okay, because last time I took her to the vet, she got her last round of shots, so she's up to date on shots now. And doctor said she's got 2 adult teeth starting to come in, which means she's going to start losing her razor sharp puppy teeth.
Yep.
And getting in her nice shovel shaped, less sharp adult teeth, which is going to be nice.
Which she will still bite you with.
Yeah, and that's fine. And hopefully I can get her to stop with the nipples and stuff, because she's getting better about that. But when she's really excited, she will still, ah! And it's not even that she's trying to hurt you. She's literally just like trying to stick your whole arm in her mouth.
Yeah.
She's a fucking goober.
That's great. I knew pit bulls that would try to stick your whole arm in their mouth. The only thing is they were capable of it.
Yeah. Yeah, her mouth is not quite big enough yet. But she's got an attitude, bro. Like, you tell her no, and she will just straight back up and turn her head and start barking at you. Like, she cocks her head like, who are you to tell me no? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I've been watching some random videos of huskies being dramatic, and there is no bigger drama queen in the animal kingdom than a husky that doesn't want to do something.
Oh, dude, they're like, ah! Huskies are really, really vocal. Yeah, they crack me up, dude.
They're vocal, and they throw themselves into things. Like, they really just overact. It's so funny. And it's always over something like they got sprayed by a hose.
Yeah, they are dramatic, dude.
I love the video. That's the dogs, and they're like at the shelter. Maybe it's not a shelter, or it's either like a shelter or a like a doggy daycare type place. And they're like, these are the dogs who love water, and they're spraying the thing, and they're all playing in the spray. And there's a pool, and they're like, as opposed to, and they turn the camera, and there's just like 10 dogs just like up against the fence, standing way back. They're like the dogs that don't like playing in water. And they're all like, keep that wetness away from me. And let me tell you, Lilith would probably, she likes to play in water, but dude, if I try to take her outside and the grass is wet, she just stands in place.
Oh, dude.
She's like, I don't want to walk in this.
If it's raining outside and I try to get my dog to go outside, she'll just stand there and look at me, turn around, and go lay back down in her bed. She's like, this isn't happening, dude.
One of my mom's dogs just loves rain. If it's raining, she will go to the one place on the back porch that isn't covered and stand there and try to get as wet as she can.
It's like, Lilith will, like, she'll be drinking out of her water bowl and then just stick her paws in it and start digging in the water. But God forbid she tries to walk on wet grass. I don't know what her I don't know what her is. I don't know if she just doesn't want her back paws wet or whatever, but she's a fucking goober. Other than Lilith, I've been working a lot. I'm starting to actually like get, you can't see it in the shirt, but like I'm actually getting definition in my arms again.
Nice.
I don't know if we talked about this on the last podcast, but I started doing some math on these trucks that I get at Walmart. And like, there was a day that just at Walmart I moved 11,000 pounds of product.
It's crazy.
It's like, man, I'd be so much more rich if it were the other kind of Coke that I was moving. I would be, this would be my full-time job, would be this show.
Yeah.
I would, like...
You would do it once, and you would be good.
Yeah, it's like let me move 11,000 pounds one time, and I will retire from cocaine trafficking. But no, it's the cola of Coke that I work with. But dude, yeah, the pallets of 24 packs of Cokes, you know the fridge packs, they're like a little suitcase of soda. Mm-hmm. They come 8, so it's like 8 wide in a big square. And then it's 12 tall. There's 100. It comes with like 102 or 101 or something in the pallet, and it's 2,100 and something pounds, I think. And let me tell you,
that sounds right. Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you get a fucking a pallet jack that isn't worth a shit,
oh God,
and gives you resistance when you're pulling it, it is the most ridiculous thigh workout.
Oh man.
Pulling 2,000 pounds. I'm like, God, I feel for those fucking oxen. Jesus Christ.
We're not making it to Oregon.
And then you see them, like the people who are unloading the trucks, they have these nice electric ones that are just like, and they just move mechanically. While I'm over here, like literally leaning at like a 70 to 60 degree angle, walking like,
looking like that's the thing from the 70s or 66 Batman where they're climbing up a rope on the side of the building.
Yeah, except... Yeah, absolutely. You could film me doing that and then slightly tilt the camera and it would look like I was fucking walking up a building pulling this thing like, God almighty. Caught me a marlin. And I guess that's a decent enough segue to, we've been doing quite a bit of fishing. We didn't really talk about this much last episode, but we can get it in on this episode. We've been playing a decent amount of Red Dead Online, and I've been enjoying the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's been
The only thing I don't like is that there's a whole lot of stuff that's gated behind experience tiers, so you have to play a lot of the game before you can get to some of the stuff you wanted to do. Like fishing was the first thing we all were adamant on getting, and you had to be level 15 or 14 for that. I had to hit level 25 just to wear the sombrero I wanted.
Yeah, it is a lot, but like I think what it's trying to do is ease you into all the stuff in the game. Like it's expecting you to play the RDR online story mode and kind of gain your levels through that and start unlocking these additional things as you go. Like the cosmetics being locked is kind of goofy, but like I can see why they might have locked fishing and stuff like that a little bit. But honestly, once you get in and especially if you're playing with somebody higher level, thank you, Dalton, you can really start earning experience doing fun missions and earning money and gold that way. Because Dalton unlocked the bounty hunting, so we've been doing a hell of a lot of that, which is one of my absolute favorite things to do in that game.
Yeah.
I really like that the bounty hunting comes with a dead or alive factor in it, to where if you do want to just shoot the bounties, you can do that, but you get paid a little bit more if you can hog tie them. But if you do that, you have to be careful because everyone else is still shooting at you, and sometimes so is the bounty. Like, I accidentally killed one in self-defense the other day.
That's like, too, not only do you have to worry about that, you have to worry about you go to hog tie them, and they might break out of it and hog tie you instead.
That happens to you so much. It has literally never happened to me.
I know, and you guys have watched it happen to me. It's like we're all three standing around, and I'm tying them up, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm tied on the ground. And I'm like, they're getting away. They're getting away. I'm like, damn it, Dalton. I'm like, I don't know why this keeps happening.
They do like to pull a runner on you pretty often.
I really need to save up and get that reinforced lasso. I really think that would help me. Yeah, dude, it's been a lot of fun, especially doing bounties. And I like that bounties are the one way to get guaranteed gold. I do want to tell you boys, in case you guys maybe want to play a little bit later on tonight or tomorrow or something. There is a thing going on right now where blood money quests give double experience and double cash reward.
Woo.
Okay.
So
what is the blood money exactly? Because I've only done like one blood money mission and I kind of forgot. I think it was just rob something basically.
Yeah, it's basically your more seedy stuff: assassinations, robbery,
Nice.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, dude, one of my favorite things we've done so far, and it was so frustrating because we fucked it up so many times, is we did that one legendary bounty. So we were playing through this. Dalton picked this mission for us, and it was one we were all excited about doing. Like, we were basically tracking down this religious cult leader, and we were trying to bring him in alive so we'd get the hella reward on it. So we played through this mission a few times. Like, the first thing, we had trouble finding the location he was in. We finally get there. We have a shootout with all of his disciples and stuff.
The thing is that a lot of the disciples were small women that carried tomahawks, which one-shot you on headshots. And you only get 2 party lives total. So even though there were 3 of us, if we got killed twice, which means 2 tomahawks, we had no more lives left to give.
The lucky thing is there's checkpoints in these, and you can restart from the checkpoint. Thank goodness. Otherwise, we would not have finished this mission, I don't think.
Yeah, but one of the checkpoints was literally clear out the entire cave that the guy was in, coming and going.
I hate to be that guy. Can we stop the recording and then restart it real quick? Not start the whole thing over, but start it from where we're at. I am absolutely recording through my webcam on there.
Yep.
Remember what we were doing? Because I coughed with the mic muted and looked up and it still made a wave, and I went, fuck.
Yeah, that's a great
idea.
All right.
So, okay, we'll just...
All right, so after fixing the audio issue, I probably sound a lot better to you people now. I was recording through my webcam. Yay!
Whoopsie.
As we were saying, the legendary bounty.
Yeah, so like Willie was saying, there was this part where you had to clear out the entire cave, and like it wasn't until like after the cave was cleared out you got the checkpoint. So like we kept getting up to the point where we were about to clear it out and getting tomahawked in the head by just one random person so many times. The absolute worst thing that happened, though, is we finally cleared out the cave, and we were like, hell yeah. And we go to pick up the bounty, which we got in alive, and my hand slips. I hit right trigger on my controller and blast the dude straight in the head. And we were just like, Nate, are you serious? I'm like, Guys, it was. I swear to God, this was an accident. And I know Willie probably doesn't believe me because of how many times I've trolled him online.
No, I completely believe that this one was an accident. It was too stupid for you to do it even as a joke. It was amazing.
So like, we had to run and find a way to get ourselves killed so we could reload at the checkpoint and do the cave again so we could bring him in alive.
I said it at the time. It made me think of that scene from Pulp Fiction where I accidentally shot Marvin in the face. I didn't mean to. It's just fucking tremendous. It's like Nate's going to put his pistol up in the holster and just boom, and just put a bullet straight through Homeboy's face.
That's legit what it felt like, man. And I was just like sitting there silently for a minute, like, holy shit, did I really just do that?
And then that instance me and you had where we got ported to the same area with that hacker, and then me and you were like, oh no, fuck that guy, and we hunted him down, and you killed him. And he falls to the ground. I go over to double tap him just because, and then I get a murder charge. And then I shot him. Yeah. I shot him again. It gave me another murder charge. I shot him again. It gave me another murder charge. So this dude just kept reviving himself with whatever hack he was using, and we just kept killing him. It just kept racking up these fucking murder charges. And eventually he fucked up.
And then the funny thing, though, is like, I think this was the same time. We were just standing there with this random dude after all that went down because he got teleported into there, too. And we kind of started emoting at each other and stuff. Like, because me and Dalton play with voice chat off online because I don't want to hear what these other idiots are saying. And he just, all of a sudden, just caps Dalton for no reason.
That's right, that guy. I fucking lit up a cigarette. And my dude was just smoking a cigarette, and the guy just pulled out his rifle and shot me in the head.
Yeah, so I immediately shot him right back, and then we hunted him down again after we all respawned and killed him again.
I've had some pretty good, fun, weird PvP moments. One time I just directly spawned in the middle of a guy, like, just doing a bunch of PKing, and so he's shooting at me. This other guy comes out of nowhere and just blasts him, and then just starts talking himself up on voice chat, like, you know, yo soy numero uno, and then he starts looking at me and starts talking to me in Spanish, and I don't know the voice chat button on the keyboard at the moment, so I'm over there like trying to figure out how to say like hola, no hablo mucho español or whatever, but instead I'm hitting the wrong button, and so I'm just walking around in circles on my horse, and he just kind of looks at me for a moment, shoots me, and then wanders off.
Pendejo.
But the funniest shit is like
right.
Me, Willie, Dalton, and Blitzy were all just standing around fishing, and for some reason we hadn't gone into the posse we had formed up. And Willie had a fish on a hook. I walk up behind him and lasso while he's standing there fishing, and he loses the fish because I lassoed him, and I just was cracking up laughing at it because it was just. Because that's what I'm talking about. I troll Willie on there sometimes, and it was just so fucking funny to me for no reason.
Nate trolls me so much that I can't tell when he's legitimately trolling and when he's just playing the game very terribly. Because he also does things like ride out on a one-horse-wide trail, park his horse in the middle, get off to pick flowers, then yell at us for tripping over his horse.
I mean, you guys are the ones that...
He's just stupid as hell.
The first fucking night we loaded into it. You guys, I'm walking up to you guys, and I think Willie kills Nate, and Nate's laying there, like, bleeding out. And I go over and revive... Oh, was it you? Okay, then I don't know who it was, but I revived whoever it was, and whoever it was just stood up and capped the other person right in the face. So...
Yeah.
I mean, you guys give it to one another.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we started off that way. It's fine. Because it's not a game with a huge punishment for dying. You just basically, if you're not in a mission, you just respawn very near where you are.
I'm not immune to it, because there have been times I'm just, before our posse days, where I'm just riding on my horse, and all of a sudden, from the bottom of my screen comes a lasso. They just around my dude and yanks him off my horse. And my guy just falls and lands on his head and miraculously doesn't snap his neck in half. This was a Owen Hart to Steve Austin level pile driver. Like... God damn.
You remember that one time we were starting a mission, me and you were both riding off on our horses, and I went to jump to your horse, like, just to be funny, and for some reason, when I go to jump to your horse, Dalton, it sent all three of us, me, you, and your horse, flying off a cliff that was nowhere near us when we...
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the game code then, but you, like, in your mid-flight, it just acted like we hit a slingshot. It sprung us all at the speed of light, just like miles.
bamfed you all away like Nightcrawler.
I can imagine being Willie just trotting along, and all of a sudden we're just like, shoo, and it's like a cartoon. All of a sudden it's just ping, and we're gone. Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again.
It's like Steam.
Oh, really?
About to do the same joke.
I'm sorry.
Yep. Nope, that's good.
I will say I really do enjoy playing this game online, but it does have way too many hackers just hacking for no reason, just being like doing asinine bullshit in there. Like I remember I was just walking to my camp and all of a sudden like I was hit by like dynamite or something and flung 20 feet this direction, stood back up, got hit again, got flung 20 feet in another direction. I was like, dude, just stop and let me play the game. I'm just trying to hunt some critters. I'm just trying to shoot some varmints. Leave me alone.
There was a dude that looked like the Human Torch in San Antonio the other day, flying around and everything he touched lit on fire. It was insane.
That's kind of awesome. Yesterday, or not yesterday, but the last time I played with Blitz, it was late night, and we were playing, and we ran into a hacker who just was a 20-foot tall woman who just jumped very high, and all she wanted to do was follow us around and jump at us. It was pretty dope.
I want to ride that ride, Daddy. Me too, son. Me too.
I was like, yeah, Lady Demescu fan's eating good.
When you guys were talking about things being locked behind levels and things like that, I was reading online. I was looking up a forum about how people, like different glitches and people use to get gold and stuff like that. And this guy made a really good point where he said, Red Dead Online is not Grand Theft Auto Online. They don't update RDO like they do Grand Theft Auto. So like, once you buy everything in Red Dead, what do you have to do? There's no reason for you to go out and make money and things like that. So it's like, they said Grand Theft Auto, your goal is to get as rich as fucking possible because there's always shit to buy. Which, put a pin in that. I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto Online a little bit before we move on to the game of the week. But so I understand why things are gated, but at the same time, I do wish certain things gave just a smidge more of a reward.
Yeah.
And we are whining a little bit, but it is also worth pointing out that anything is level gated. You can also purchase with the game currency gold, which is a much slower kind of cash that you can also pay with real money. So if you want, you can pay to skip the
grind. But in my opinion, though, kudos to them for making the premium currency earnable, even if at a slower rate, because some games are just like, no, you have to pay for this currency if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only other complaint really I have about the game is there is a bit of a hacker problem, but it's really easy to just leave the instance and go to a different one. So I feel like whenever hackers show up, everyone just leaves the instance, and then you're sitting with a guy who is pissing into the pool, and he's the only guy left in the pool, you know? That's, no biggie. And I do get the, like you said, the game doesn't get updated a lot, and a lot of the time does kind of feel like a kingdom that has been abandoned by its god.
Yeah, it has, because...
Which is fine, because there's so much shit to do, I ain't complaining too much about it. But one day we will run out of stuff to do in that game.
And I think it's just because Grand Theft Auto Online is the cash cow. Like, that is the more popular of the games, for sure.
Yeah, but I'd rather be a cowboy.
I mean, this game is a lot more popular than you might think still. Like, I went and looked up who was playing, like, the most popular games being played on Steam at the time. And for comparison, this game had twice as many players as Deep Rock Galactic, which is a game that's still very actively developed.
Yeah.
That's fair. But
it's a lot of fun. Like, there's still a lot more stuff I want to do, and like I want to get. It's like I've got one gun that I've really improved and I'm liking a lot, but I want to get to a level where I can unlock a really cool horse and all that kind of stuff too. So like I definitely want to keep grinding away and doing more bounties, and maybe eventually I'll play the story. But I just like having fun with the fellas online.
Yeah, my next main goal. Is the reinforced lasso and getting a high enough level to get lures.
Lures would be great, yeah.
I think you can start getting lures at 24, so I think I'm already there.
Okay. I think I'm level 24. It might be 25. I think you were a level ahead of me. Because I know 24 was live
I didn't buy
crickets.
any yet because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. 24 is crickets. I think it might be 30 for lures then.
30, 32 something.
But I'm kind of interested in trying lures because I want to know if it's like ultimate fishing, like the spoon lure where you have to kind of slowly crank it back the whole time it's in the water, because I actually thought lure fishing was even more fun than bait fishing and ultimate fishing because it's just a little bit more
that's
active,
how I fish in Red Dead. I cast out and then slowly reel in and then flick every now and then.
I mean, I do too, but yeehaw
cowboy. But yeah, so
crank it.
I've also been playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto Online, and that game has so much more to it now than it did when I first started playing that shit on PlayStation 4 back in the day. My God. I should say playing on PlayStation 3, since that game spanned Skyrim level generations. So I logged in. I thought I had done this thing on Twitch where they were giving away some free stuff. Apparently I never actually claimed it, so I didn't get it, and now that offer's over. So I started out with dick for cash. They have put a functional casino in the game. So I headed there. Played some slots. I went up. There's like this spin board wheel thing that you can go up and use, and you get one spin on it free daily. And it gave me 15,000 coins or something like that. 15,000 chips. Went over to the slot machine, turned that into 250 grand. Sent y'all boys a screenshot. A little bit later on.
I always think it's so wild in video games when you have a slot machine that you can actually make money off of, because in real life they're just a great way to really slowly lose money. Oh, and
we'll get there. So I then lost a bunch, got down to like where I had like 180,000 or so. Won another 250 grand. So then I went and I pulled 100 grand. I sold 100 grand worth. So I'm like, I have 100 grand worth of money in the bank now. And then was like, all right, let's go play the high rolling slots. And today, when I logged out, I had 2 chips. So it might be a little more like regular gambling. So I'm glad I sold.
See, for some reason, I was getting.
I'm glad I sold that 100,000 worth, so I had some cash still. It's like fucking hell.
I was just thinking of like the Dragon Quest 11 slot machines that actually are good, and I was like, does this game have Dragon Quest 11 slots? But no, you just had a really hot start.
Their slot machines are fucking hilarious, though. Like, there's one that's like obviously Halo/Doom guy based. And its little quips when you lose and win are hilarious that pop up. And God, it's just so funny. I like the Slayer one, though. The one that's like the horror movie slot machine. That's cool. But they also like, they have roulette in there. They have blackjack. There's like some sort of poker. Maybe Aces High Poker, I think, maybe.
Poker? I hardly know her.
Yeah, hey. Pup.
I've been told that video poker is one of the casino games that has the best odds for the player, but you also have to know a whole bunch of bullshit to play it, compared to even to regular poker. Like to play it at an edge level.
Video poker. Goddamn, I haven't thought about that in forever. I remember a long time ago. I was a little kid. It was like this restaurant that had a bar that we would go to, or it was a bar that my dad would play music at or something like that. But they had a video poker machine that they would let me play on. I don't know how they would set it up where it didn't cost money and didn't give me money, but they just played poker. And like they had this other one that had like a selection of different games that were all like little card games and really shitty graphics. We're talking like way back in the day, shit. But it was fun for me. It was colorful and it was things for me to do when I was young. So, but Grand Theft Auto Online still ridiculous as ever. I'm having a lot of fun with that too. I haven't gone and actually bought anything yet. I haven't done any regular missions yet. I have robbed a few gas stations and I have gambled in the casino.
I feel like that's just us with these games. Like when we were talking about Red Dead, we didn't talk about doing that much cowboy stuff except for the bounty hunting missions. Aside from that, we're like, fishing's fun, hunting's fun.
Yeah, they're great games to fuck around in.
That's what a sandbox needs to be. And like, here's the thing: is like now that I've been playing online so much, I feel like if I go back to the story mode, I'm gonna kick its ass because I'm so much better with the controls in that game now.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was exactly thinking too. Because I was hopeless when I first started playing that game, and now that I've had to actually, shoot some dudes and I know where the pull gun and put away gun button are, I'm a little less gun shy than I was at first. Because I was trying to play Arthur as a real, not quite Kiryu, but a pretty much upright guy.
Yeah. When I first started playing this game, dude, I can't tell you how many times I would accidentally pull pistols and aim at people when I was trying to like do something else.
I literally, first time I went to Valentine, I pulled a gun on the newsboy by accident and was panicking and looking up how to put my gun away so I didn't accidentally shoot this poor kid who just wanted to sell me newspapers.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the game won't let you shoot children. It grays out. Because in Saint Denis, there's some kids that'll talk shit to you, and I may or may not have tried to shoot them.
Can you plant dynamite near them and leave?
So I started throwing Molotov cocktails towards them and hoping the fire would catch them, but it didn't.
Of course you did.
Dalton, those kids were
worth it.
harassing Dalton, telling him that he's never been to the Cloud District in Saint Denis, and Dalton was just not having it.
Well,
Kids were like, go on up, bald
they were
head.
making fun of me about how fat and bald I was, and I asked God for 9 bears.
Oh, they really did call you bald.
No, I was just kidding. But I asked God for 9
You were
bears.
doing
I was like,
Bible
smite
jokes.
them!
Okay.
And I waited, and I waited, and I waited.
You only used 2 bears, dude. God bears
He's
are
a
awesome.
cooking of something up. And then I opened up my trainer and spawned in a bunch of bears. They killed me. They didn't go after the kids.
Did you actually do that? Because that's really
Yes.
funny if you did. Because I've definitely watched, like, people messing around with the console in, like, Elder Scrolls game. And the first thing pretty much anyone does after messing with a couple NPCs is, what happens if I spawn 500 dragons?
Oh, man. So there have been times that I've been in a river and I've been, like, in a boat. And I will just spawn in like 50 of the legendary bull gators, which are fucking huge, by the way. And then you just they all swim off and go in the different directions. And then you're paddling down the river and you just see these massive gators just floating, just chill. And there's just a ton of them everywhere. It's awesome. Reminds me of home.
Gators are kind of dope. Yeah, dude, Blitz he's from Florida too, and he was so happy when we first ran into gator territory in the game.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is real Florida. This isn't Miami, what everybody thinks Florida is. No, this is real Florida. This is swamp. This is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I'm in that area and I'm walking around as Arthur or my online guy, my aim is never straightforward. It's slightly down because it's like I know from walking around here, look for snakes and alligators or anything like that, no matter where the fuck you are.
But especially if you're in that big bayou area in Lagos, because that part is just all gators all the time.
Lucrative though, you skin them.
Like, oh yeah. Unfortunately, we can only, I think, gator skins count as a large carcass. So until we get that hunting wagon, we're gonna have to do it 1 at a time to 3 at a time. You know.
There are 2 different kinds of gators. There are those really big gators around that area. But I think it's a little more north you start running into alligators that are slightly smaller, and they count as a regular skin.
So you're like a medium. You can actually can you carry them on your horse? The actual body?
Yeah. Well, the body, you could toss on there, and then that's just like a normal throwing a body on there. But your skin them, you
like
can
a
just
large.
stuff their skins
Gotcha.
on there too.
That's nice. That's good to know.
And there's definitely a size difference. Like you would notice, be like, oh shit, that's a small gator. Okay. Yeah.
I do like the great variety of animals in the game too. Because once I got to New Austin, I'm like, man, everything here is different. Even the deer are different. Because you got the Baja California pronghorn instead of the usual whitetails and pronghorns. You got like banded armadillos and all kinds of other fun stuff running around. Because for those who haven't played, New Austin is basically the Texas analog state.
What did I kill earlier that the name was like the ring-necked pigtail or something like that? It was some weird.
There's a ring-necked pheasant.
Well, no, because this was a pig. This was a boar, but it was named something strange like that. And I was like, I've never seen this before, even in single player. It's like, wow. But then again, I think the area that I was in is locked in single player now that I'm thinking about it, so never mind.
I would like to go into single player and because that has the encyclopedia where the more animals you see, the more you can like look them up and stuff. And I'm really interested in doing that. And like Nate said, now that we're more adept with our weaponry and stuff, I'm no longer scared to go into Blackwater and do that mission. You know?
Oh yeah, man, you can whip that game's ass now.
Yep.
For sure. Well, have some Red Dead Online talk. You boys about ready to talk about the game of the week?
Let's do her too, or
Sure. I reckon this episode would be about half Red Dead talk anyway, because this is a pretty short one.
All right, where's my tab? I have some obligatory wiki fandom bullshit. So we'll call it the wiki findom bullshit. Send us money. If it makes your pee-pee hard, send us money.
You disgusting
You
little
fucking
pay
little
pigs. Head
pay
to our
pig
Patreon.
Send me
Jesus
$5.
Christ.
I'll send you a toenail clipping.
Do actually send him $5 though. We're kidding about the rude parts. You don't have to get off on it. Just give us money.
Patreon.com/SteamMachinePodcast.
So you can get the episodes early.
So, Observation Duty Wiki. The overview about the game series. This is all I could find. I'm on Observation Duty is a series of popular spot the difference type horror games. And I'm on Observation I'm on Observation Duty for The player's job is to monitor live surveillance camera footage and spot anomalies in the monitored rooms. The rooms are the city house, the country house, and the station, and that is all that is on this wiki.
Yeah, the later games have like up to 6 houses, but at this point there were only 2 to 3 in the first few games.
So, Willie, this was your pick, sir, so I'm going to let you start. What made you pick it? First impression.
Okay, so this is actually one that I just saw people stream and was interested in, because so I noticed that this streaming channel I follow called The Secret Sleepover Society, which is the married couple from the art show Drawfee, Julia Lepetit and Jacob Andrews. They play video games once a week on that channel, and they play a lot of just fun little games to play together. And this was one of them that I thought, I kept seeing the name but never watched it. But I've also lately been getting into the Game Grumps, which is like, you know, a YouTube Let's Play channel that's been around for like 12 years at this point. And I saw that the Grumps had also played that game, so I'm like, you know what, I'll check out what they're doing on there. I watched them play it, and I was like, okay, this is really funny to watch these guys play. It would be a really cool game to play, like, by having someone stream it and have someone else watching, and we could just kind of bullshit and play it and stuff. And then I went back and watched the Secret Sleepover Society streams, which were also really funny, and they immediately said, like, they got the idea of playing it from watching Game Grumps do it, too. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. And it was. And I picked 4 in particular because it had one scene that I really wanted someone to see, and I don't think any of us got that scene.
Well, what scene is it now? You can reveal it.
I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it happens in the country house, the second map. Let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up before. I originally wanted to save this as a Halloween game because I thought this would make a good, like, October, but they originally offered the first game as a pay-as-you-want on itch.io, and when it moved to Steam, they removed the pay-as-you-want or free version. So I'm like, well, if it's no longer a free game, I think maybe we should just do a regular episode about it. It's a short game, so we'll have plenty of time to play Red Dead. So that was one of my main considerations, too, is if you guys only played this game for like an hour, it wasn't going to be too much of a disappointment to me.
Word.
As long as we got some more cowboy stuff in, which, hell yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Shout out Tadpog.
Hell yeah.
So what about you, Nate? What was your...
It is funny that...
Yeah,
I wanted to just say one more thing, about first impressions and stuff. It was really funny that Adam asked me how this game compares to Five Nights at Freddy's, because I actually didn't notice that there was kind of a similarity between the two until I started watching Game Grumps play Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm like, oh wait, these are both games where your job is to sit there, watch cameras for 6 hours. It's just, this one is more spot the differency instead of managing of resources. And a little less leaning on the jump scares, I feel. Now go on, Nate. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. No, I want you to get all of it out. So, for me, like, when I first loaded into the game, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put this on stream on our Discord. That is Discord. No, I'm not going to do it. But on our Discord, so I played it there. Willie and Blitzy kind of joined in and watched me play it. I see where you're coming from, where this definitely does feel better when there's other people looking at it too, but also, like, I guess my first impression was it's kind of like, it's a spot the difference game that doesn't do it in the way that all the others kind of spot the difference games that we've played for the show does it. It's more of a, you're managing these cameras and seeing what's going on between them. If you can see something different one time and you're in the room, then when you cycle back through the cameras, you know something's changed, you click it then, you report it then. First impression is like, it's kind of interesting, but at the same time, kind of dull and kind of not too involved. Like, that's kind of my first impressions on it.
That's why I thought it made a good stream game, too, is because there's like 20 minutes game times where literally nothing is happening, no new anomalies have popped, and you almost just start talking yourself into thinking you're seeing stuff, which is kind of interesting in of itself. But yeah, there's a lot of downtime in it. I fully agree with that.
But you, Dalton, what's your first impression is?
I thought it looked better than I thought, like, than I expected.
Yeah.
For being an indie game, I thought it looked pretty decent. For the first, I don't know, a few minutes that I was playing it, I was like, all right, there's really not much going on here. And then I think I switched to the bedroom camera in the first house, and the suitcase just, like, moved. And I was like, oh, all right, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. All right, I know what to do now. So then I started flipping through the cameras looking for things like that. Then I would notice, like, hey, that wasn't there before. And, you click the thing. So, like, I picked up on it. But I feel like it wasn't very descriptive of what I started to put it together based on what my choices were at the bottom of the screen, as opposed to it telling me what I needed to be looking for, other than it saying there were anomalies.
Yeah, and it's very, very short on tutorial, and you have to figure out some stuff on your own.
But overview of the first impression, I was like, this feels very much like a game that I would have gotten on itch.io.
Yeah, which makes sense when Willie brought up that, the first game was an
100%.
itch.io. Yeah. What I find interesting about that is that it's kind of caught on to have so many sequels that it does now.
I think it really helped that they got caught by like Game Grumps and Jacksepticeye and other big streamer video producers. That it feels like whenever those guys find a horror game, it always gives it a huge bump in sales and attention.
I think I see on this thing that they are at least up to 6.
Mm-hmm. 6 is the last one I know of as well.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and to its credit, like I'm on the Steam page for it now. It's like it has 605 reviews, and it's gotten overwhelmingly positive on Steam. So
I feel like if you weren't forced to play it for a podcast, you would really only come across it if you were something you were interested in. Because I feel like you would watch like 3 minutes of someone else playing it and go, not for me, and just keep on moving on.
But like
that is fair.
I guess I could say the same thing about the Hidden Objects games when we were playing those. It's like I would have never really given those the time of day, but then we played them and we're like, oh, holy shit, these are actually really fun.
They were, the ones we played so far, I mean, I only ended up on one episode, but it was a lot more charming and had more to do than I expected it would. Can't say that I'm a big fan of them putting obligatory Towers of Hanoi puzzles in every freaking game, but I did like a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah. So I will admit, this game did jump scare me twice.
Oh,
they were
you want to talk about it?
But they did jump scare me. First house. I'm flipping through the cameras. All of a sudden, boom! Ghostly face looking at me, just like, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? So it was one of those that I didn't like jump out of my chair, but I felt the adrenaline spike. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay. Let me just shake off that little shiver.
I feel like that's the level of jump scare this game operates on for the most part. There are a couple of more extreme ones, but it's almost all more like,
the
you got
one
me,
that
game.
got me more was the second house. I'm flipping through and I'm looking for differences, and there's this fucking dong hanging statue outside.
Yes, I was hoping this would happen to someone. I don't think anyone got it.
Is this the one you were talking about? Is this the thing you were like hoping?
No, but this is my second favorite, so I'm glad you got this
there's
one.
a dong hanging statue out there, and he's just like looking at the ground. And I found like where there was like an extra shovel out there, and I removed that anomaly. Then there was like something else, and I removed that. So then I flipped back to it, and this statue that's been looking at the ground the whole time is now like looking up at the camera, very close to the camera. And I was like, Jesus fucking what the fuck? Statues creep me out. That's like the Weeping Angels thing. Fucking freaky, bro. Like, so like, it was...
You're lucky that's the only statue anomaly you got, because from the same house, the lion statue also likes to do that.
Oh, dude, I was waiting for that lion statue to get closer. I was waiting and waiting.
I think Nate immediately pegged that the discus guy was going to do something, and I was kind of sad it never did. Because Nate's like, I know you're going to jump up into the camera.
So, like, in this game, there's different classes of anomalies you can find. Like, there's, like, an object is missing, an object's been added, things like that. But the ones that really stick out to me are the ones that are called intruders, when there's just people, really weird people, hanging out in the house. Like, one of the first ones of those that I saw was in the first house, and, like, I'm scrolling through, I go to the kitchen, and all of a sudden there's just this dude standing in the kitchen staring at the camera, just standing there in his underwear, kind of like rocking back and forth slightly. And I just look at him like, what is Mr. Libido doing in the kitchen right now?
Dude, I never got one of those. I was looking hard for intruders because I found something that was like, don't look at the windows.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. And so then, of course, I looked at every window.
You don't tell me what to do.
But, like, there's two other one of those intruders that really stuck out to me. One was I went to the living room in the first house, and there was just this guy standing against the wall, slowly banging his head against the wall. So I'm like, and like blood coming out of his head onto the wall or whatever. And so I report it. And like, when you report it, he just leans completely over backwards on top of himself and stares at you. And then the anomaly thing goes away. But the one that really jump scared me the most was like, I was in the upstairs hallway thing, and you could see this guy standing at the bottom of the stairs. And so you're like, okay, let's go ahead and report that. You report that, and all of a sudden, in like the most herky-jerky movements ever, he runs up the stairs right into the face of the camera. And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't get any of those. I just shit my pants.
Yeah, so like it was a pretty good scare, like, and it's making me have more positive opinions now thinking about it again than I had initially going into recording this episode of the game. But like, so there's a couple good jump scares in the game, but like the cool thing, I like this mechanic in the game. So the way you lose is if 4 anomalies are active in the house at the same time. And so like, it's not like you just miss something once and you lose, right? It has to be something happens, it builds up, and you lose. And when it gets to 3 the first time, it warns you there are 3 active anomalies in the house. If you don't find them, you're going to lose or whatever. So I did like that mechanic. So like you kind of had a feeling of like, I'm doing really well or I'm doing really bad based on if you'd gotten that message or not.
Yeah, and I definitely did worse as I went on in the levels. Like I think in the first level, my highest was 9. I found 9 anomalies. The second level, I think I found 5, and the third one, I found none. So.
Yeah.
I didn't attempt the third house either, so I have also found none.
I only did the first 2. I did it on stream with Willie and Blitzy. I got through both of them, but we also had 3 guys looking for things by the end of it. The first, I tried to play by myself without getting help the first couple times. And then, like, I was like, all right, guys, if you want to help, just holler if you see an anomaly when I'm scrolling through. And we got pretty good at it, but, like, yeah. So I think I ended up playing this game for a total of 2.1 hours, and that was all on that one stream with Willie and Blitzy. That's all I played it.
Nate, did you end up seeing the weird eyeball guy?
Yes, he was freaky.
Yeah, okay, that one was you. Okay. I want to show you guys my favorite anomaly then. I'm going to send the pictures of it to the regular group chat instead of the recording chat.
I will tell you... Two things real quick. 2 more that I like. I liked the painting anomalies when they would show up.
Yeah, those were cool as hell.
And then the what was it? Void. Like I went to one. Yeah, I went to one room and all of a sudden there was just these black circles that started expanding, and I'm like, oh, well, that surely isn't good. Fabric of time just being eaten away.
And so apparently, if you don't catch those and you just let it grow to take up the whole room, it's an immediate game over. Like for the Abyss when that happens.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the world gets eaten, I think you should lose. Here's my favorite anomaly. In the painting room in the country house, sometimes this big old feller shows up.
Damn, he is beefy. That's like Arnold Schwarzenegger looking motherfucker.
But here's the best part. If you report an intruder, the game corrects you with this screen.
Do you mean huge man? That's pretty funny. See, I wish I would have seen that, but like we played that level and we beat it without ever seeing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted someone to get huge man, and sadly none of us did. But both of the streamers I watched got huge man, and so I was so ready for huge man to show up for. I think I saw it on Secret Sleepover first. So I was really excited for the Game Grumps to get to it because I knew they were going to have a hilarious reaction to that.
Yeah, dude. I never got a single anomaly in that room that I saw.
Yeah,
that I saw. So
here's some fan art of the head banging one that Nathan was.
The huge man, like that room where the huge man's in, like the painting anomalies in there were hilarious.
Oh, because they would just turn into weird baby faces half the time. I also liked when a ghost showed up in that room and would just run back and forth between 2 of the paintings, so their faces looked really weird.
Yeah, I mean there were definitely some cool fucking. Like I have one achievement unlocked for this, and it's die.
Yeah.
The headbanging man, if you see him, that was actually an achievement for me. And apparently huge man is also an achievement if you get huge manned.
Oh, there's a huge man achievement. I kind of want to play more to get
huge man. The headbanger.
Witching hours just from living to 4 o'clock.
The States of Timothy. Discover the secret.
I don't know what that is at all.
Wow, yeah, I don't know. That's the last one you get though, apparently, or it's on the list at least. Discover the secret.
Maybe I'll stream The Last House on Discord one more time after this episode goes out, so I can try to get all the achievements in the game and get my freaking backlog golf score down a little bit.
Fair enough. I do see that little +3 sitting over next to you.
Oh yeah, I'm scrolling
Dalton's camera is messing up today, and it's really funny because sometimes I can't tell if he's just sitting really still or if his camera stopped working again.
I'm scrolling through the Steam community section for this game, and I'm looking at some of the screenshots of the intruders. They look ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, I know if you would have seen that dude in the underwear, you would have thought the exact same thing as me. Mr. Libido, 1000%.
Yeah, I don't see Underwear Man in these that I'm looking at yet. That guy just looks legitimately naked.
Yeah, he sure does. But yeah. Is there... I'm trying to think if there's any other mechanics in the game to kind of talk through.
I mean, ultimately, it's a fairly... I think we kind of hit everything, to be honest. Like, we talked about some of our favorite scars.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of nooks and crannies in it. It's kind of like, here's your objective, do the objective.
Clearly, there's some kind of secret in there, but I don't even know what that would entail.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless it's like hidden through like things that you see written on the walls and things like that. I'm not really sure.
I was wondering about that because there is one loading message that's like, do not look for the secret will find you, or something like that. And between that and the don't look out the windows message in the sauna and the country house, I was kind of wondering if maybe these all add up to hints to something.
Could be.
Sure seems that way. Well then, boys.
And if you figure out what they all mean, you can unlock Reptile.
Hit the right button combination, be chameleon. But only if you do it on the load screen. So what do you want to rate this, boys? Let's start with Willie since he chose this. What kind of rating would you give this, my good sir?
I feel like it's a little hard to rate because, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of the epitome of a game that does one thing and does it pretty right to me. So I'm going to be just kind of straight down the middle with it. If we'd played it for a free Halloween game, it probably would have been one of the best ones we played that year. And as a $5 game, I believe, it's really not that bad at all. I do think that we're obviously running into a problem with limited content. Like, there's not even that much to talk about in it. So it's not one of those games that has a lot of great replay value. It's more one that you buy the whole series if you want to do some more of it, you know? But that being said, I liked it. I'm going to give it just a general positive score and call it, let's say, 7 huge mans out of 10 anomalies.
Okay. I'll go next. Save Nate for last. Make it different than normal. My recommendation to people for the game like this would be to throw it on your wish list, and when it goes on sale, pick it up. It's kind of like if you enjoy one of them, then just get the whole series and check it out. It's kind of like how we did with Ubermosh, where it was like, we played an Ubermosh game, we were like, man, this is pretty cool. Oh, the rest of the games are on sale for 60 cents a piece or whatever the fuck it was. Like, so everybody gets Ubermosh.
I remember it was less than $1.
And
it was awesome.
Like, and then because all of those games are more of the same. They might be slightly different, but it's all more of the same. You know.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good
Ubermosh walked,
comparison,
so games like Vampire Survivors could run.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's not much difference, but like, as far as this one goes, it intrigued me. It's one that like I'm not mad about playing. I would have never played it on my own. So I'm glad that you did bring it up because now I know it exists, because I would maybe check out the newest one and see where it's come as far as, you know, how things are going. But it is kind of hard to rate it. So I think I'm going to give it a straight down the middle 7. Like, just good. It's not great and it's not bad. It's good. So I'll give it just straight 7.
I like that it's quirky. It has a bit of a sense of humor while still being scary, and I always appreciate
7 spreading abyss circles out of 10 odd pictures.
Yeah. Fair. Oh, right. Yeah, it's like everything you said, guys have said, I basically completely agree with. I think you're scoring it a little too high, if I'm being perfectly honest, but like
I'm surprised he gave it the same
I am
number
too.
Because I think I liked it more than
I would probably say so too. Like, for me, I think it... The comparisons you both made have been really apt. Like, I think if this had been one of our free Halloween games, this could have been like the second or third best free Halloween game we played that year.
Could have been the weird runaway one, like the one weird one where you ate the shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been like at that level. Like, it's no Poppy's Playtime, but it's also as far.
But it's definitely better than another weird game about stairs.
The one thing I thought you said that was really prescient was, like, you know, comparing it to Ubermosh, because, like, if you like this game and you just want more of it and you just want more of what it's giving to you, I think being able to find this on that kind of discount would be freaking fantastic. For what they are, I think the price is a little too high. I think these games should go for $2 to $3 each, max.
I do think that even though there's more content in the 5th and 6th games, trying to sell them for actual double-digit money is a little ridiculous to me.
So I think they have their merits. I think they're pretty fun, and I wouldn't mind playing it again. Like, if somebody gifted me one of the other games in the installment, I wouldn't be mad. It's not something I'm ever going to go seek out again. I'm not going to be like, oh, hell yeah, I remember how much fun I had playing that. I'm going to go get the 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. So personally for me, I think it's slightly above average. Nothing great, nothing terrible, but it definitely has its niche, and I think it's decent. So I'm going to be the one giving this like a 5.5. 5.5 huge men out of 10 Mr. Libidos.
And I think you make a good point, and I'm going to drop my score half a point, so it's going to be 6.5. Sorry, Brian. I apologize. But I'm going to make it a 6.5. And I think I would buy another one of these games if I'm on the store looking through sales, and it was like $2 and under for the newer games. And like the anything before 4, if it was $1 or under, I might snag them just to have them. But I'm not going to go be like, oh man, I'm on observation duty, 7 just came out and it's $15.99. Buying that. And then
that's a tough question. Will I get 7 when it comes out new? Because that, I mean, maybe. I don't know if it's scheduled yet, but I might. I think 15 is a little steep. That's probably what it'll be.
Speaking of coming out new, 2K24 comes out in 2 days, and I am broke.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Dip into that Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon. Come on, please. Come through for your boy.
I think those are fair scores for it. I'm glad that we all kind of had a good time with it, but...
Yeah, my suspicion was this is going to be a like it but don't love it game for you two, so I'm pretty happy with you guys getting a little bit of fun out of it.
And I do think that personally, and I did have more fun with the fact that I was streaming it with you guys, like with you and Blitzy, because sitting there by myself, I probably would have given up on it after 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I kept suggesting Dalton stream it. I wasn't trying to push him into playing more. I just thought it is kind of a lot of nothing happening.
You want to know what my time was?
Yep.
38 minutes.
What's that?
Yeah, right, fair. Very fair. All right. So, with those scores being in the books, you guys want to move into our questiones?
Yeah.
All right. The first one is a big one from Adam. It's which company are you keeping? And I'm basing this solely on the games. I don't think we did this one last week. It's similar to ones we've done before. But which company are you keeping? And I'm basing this solely on the games that are in the list. Are you going to keep Square Enix, which is Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 15, Dragon Quest 11, and Kingdom Hearts? Are you going to keep Nintendo, which is Pokemon, Xenoblade Chronicle 3, Paper Mario, and Earthbound? Sega, which is Persona 5 Royale, Shining Force 2, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Phantasy Star 4. EA, which gives us Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, Reckoning, and Middle-earth 2. Or Bethesda, which gives us Fallout 3, Skyrim, Starfield, and I didn't even know they made this game, but The Terminator.
I feel like the Bethesda one is the least impressive resume just because they had to run to a game we've never heard of.
Oh, it's the Terminator for NES.
But I guess that's to avoid
the Terminator for the NES.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
No, yeah. But it's like Bethesda made the Death of Superman video game for the Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure.
You're probably right. But for me, I'm looking at these resumes and like Nintendo, the games chosen for Nintendo, like the only one that I'm really upset about losing out on, because like I never played Xenoblade, Paper Mario was never something I got into. And I've never played Earthbound, and at this point I probably never will because I am scared that it's not going to live up to the hype everybody gives it. So the only game I'm missing there is Pokemon. So Nintendo, you made it easy for me with the Nintendo. And Sega, you didn't include Sonic, so I'm okay.
I feel like this was basically RPG.
Yeah, and so like I'm gonna have to give this to Square Enix. That's the company I'm keeping because Chrono Trigger. I didn't play that till I was an adult, and I still think it's a masterpiece. Final Fantasy 15 looks really cool, and I wish it would win the new show poll. More on that later. Dragon Quest 11 is a top 3 game of all time for me, and Kingdom Hearts is pretty fun. So I'm giving it to Square Enix.
This is harder for me because I really like Phantasy Star, but I like Phantasy Star 1. I've never played 2, 3, and I've dabbled in 4, but not enough to have an opinion on it. Would like to play that for the show sometime, because technically it's on PC through RetroArch and that Sega Master Collection.
Yeah.
Nintendo, kind of like you, I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles 3, never played Paper Mario, I've never played Earthbound. I
feel like if these were slightly different choices, like if it had been Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and the first Mario RPG, that would make it a lot harder for me personally.
I can live with Digimon and Nexamon and Koromon and survive without Pokemon.
That's true as well.
As much as I love Pikachu and a certain Pokemon, like I could live without it. EA, excuse me. EA, those are good games, but I can live without them. Bethesda,
Bethesda
yeah, exactly. Willie just summed it up. So it's got to be Square Enix, dude. Like, Kingdom Hearts is my childhood. Chrono Trigger's fantastic. Final Fantasy 15 is really good. DQ11's tremendous.
I didn't notice Chrono Trigger on there. I was about to give it to Sega, but I think we're going to have to give it a sweep for Square Enix because Chrono Trigger...
Yeah, like, I haven't played Yakuza Like a Dragon yet. Like, that could really sway me, but I have played quite a bit...
I just know I'm going to love it.
I have played quite a bit of Persona 5, and I would take those Square Enix games over it. Spoilers for if we ever do the Persona 5 episode.
That one is at least as much on my head as it is on the game being very long.
Dude, I'm only like a quarter or a third of the way into it after 30 hours, so like...
I can't believe Jeremy beat it. That was the one impressive.
I know, that man's crazy. I'm really impressed that he did that.
Yeah, anyone who has beaten either a Persona game or like the newest Fire Emblem game, those are some big old games.
I beat 3 Houses and Persona 5.
3 Houses is the one I meant. I
4.
forgot that Emblem came, or what's the new one called? Engage?
Fire Emblem.
I know there's one with the girl with the multicolored hair.
Fire Emblem Engage.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. I meant 3 Houses and the
Houses.
DLC.
Yeah.
3 Houses.
Fire Emblem.
3 Houses in the DLC for it. The 4th house.
Yeah, the
The 4th house, yeah. That's so funny. How did they hide a 4th house there?
Wait, you mean Hufflepuff was here all along?
You mean to tell me a Hufflepuff to this?
Speaking of Puff, you got a vape cloud of laughter.
That was
for
good.
That one.
All right, our next one comes in from Nate, who asks, "Why is Dane such a bitch? You know what you did."
There's 100 reasons.
There's 100.
Because his mom had puppies, that's why.
Our next question is from Kana, who asks, "Who took your concert virginity?"
This is a fun one. Can we try to... I would really rather it be major acts and not just some local band that you went to when you were in high school and you knew half the band.
Yeah. Mine first, I'm pretty sure, and I hate that it's this, was Angie took me to some country concerts a while back, and I think the first one I really remember is Lee Greenwood, the guy that sings God Bless the USA, and I fucking do not stand for that anymore.
That is hilarious.
Proud to be an American.
Yes! That guy. I'm pretty sure that was my first concert. It's super embarrassing. I'm sorry.
That is really funny. I would not have
I
guessed
feel
that
a
in
lot better
100
about
years.
mine now. Go ahead.
Oh, I get to have the one cool one then? All right. Mine was a free waterfront concert with an all-star lineup of former members of Parliament and
Oh, that's sick.
That is rad.
I know, right? It was so much fun.
My first concert, 3 bands. Opening band, Eve 6.
I'm going to put that
Okay.
tender heart in a blender.
That's a solid
right?
opening
Not
band.
And he's one of the funniest dudes on Twitter, for sure.
That's also true.
The semi-main, it's Goldfinger.
Okay, this is
So,
sounding like
and
a
this
win
was
so
like before I really got into Tony Hawk hardcore. So like I did not even appreciate the fact that I saw Goldfinger. I do now as an adult.
That's
though.
cool.
Like fuck yeah.
Did they do 99 Red
Yeah,
Balloons?
they did actually. They did that.
No.
I remember, like in retrospect, I can remember they did that. They did Spokesman. They did Superman. They did all of the ones that you would expect.
Nice.
Nice.
Main event. Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Always complaining.
That's
Always
funny.
complaining. Good Charlotte. Good
That's
Charlotte.
funny.
Why was Good Charlotte headlining over
That is the
Goldfinger?
question I ask myself to this day.
They
Didn't
were more
question it
popular.
then.
They were a more popular band at the time.
Yeah.
They really were.
For like 6
But
months,
they were.
maybe.
This was during that 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
And
suppose.
So no, I get it.
It's just funny to me because it seems wrong.
they have a few songs that are fucking good. They just never hit the radio.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah.
With that kind of band.
Well, how am I going to judge them other than the songs
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
know.
of? You know,
Fucking boys don't like girls.
They just always
girls
struck me
like
as kind of-
cars and money or whatever.
that one is at least slightly catchy. I'll give them that one.
Right.
I don't think it's a good song, but it's a fun little pop punk ditty.
Yeah.
But they also did the anthem and the other one you just were singing a moment ago. and
My
those
two
songs were
favorite
awful.
songs by them were on that first album. One was called My Bloody Valentine, which was very.
Can't do that. You cannot use a cooler band's name in
It
your
was a
song
very
title.
edgy song, but I do like it. Might be just nostalgia that flares up when I'm listening to it. But they have a song. It was like one of the last songs on their album, and the chorus is just like, "You know, the happiest day of my life. I swear the happiest day of my life is the day that I die." And then the band kicks in. It's like, "Can you feel the cold tonight? It sets in, but it's alright. Darkness falls, I'm letting go. All alone and I feel fine." It's such a happy song about just dying alone. And I love the...
What if I prefer Dead by My Chemical Romance?
I've never heard that. I was a good Charlotte boy. I wasn't a My Chemical Romance kid.
Weird.
Basically, just imagine a pop punk version of Mr. Blue Sky, and you
Fair.
pretty much got Dead.
Fair. Dude, what was the song though? So Megan was really into My Chemical Romance, and she showed me a song by them that's something to do with vampires off like an early album by them before the one where they hit it hard.
Oh, probably from their first album.
And it was,
I actually don't
it's
know
a
that first
super
album
fucking
very
good
well.
song. I was super impressed. I was like, this is My Chemical Romance, really? Because I'm used to. What's the worst that I can say?
Vampires Will Never Hurt
Yes,
You.
that Vampires Will. That's a great song, dude. Great song.
Actually, I've never listened to I Bought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love. I
It's a
really
good-ass
need to
album,
check that
too.
out sometime.
Nice.
I bet. I kind of got into them on their second one where they went less screamo and more pop punk with big Brian May
Yeah.
guitar parts. So that's kind of what I'm used to thinking of them as.
Word.
All right. Well, that takes us to our next question from Dane. How do you like your mashed potatoes? Circumcised or uncircumcised? And that's with the peel
There
or
was a
without the
picture.
peel, basically.
There was a picture, of the peel being mashed up into the potatoes too. And I'll be honest, I never really thought about it until now, but I always think of mashed potatoes with the peel in as just somehow being automatically fancy.
Yeah, I like them better too, like because it adds a different texture to it that I think really adds to it. You know, you have your smooth-brained regular mashed potatoes, and you have that with peel in. It has. I like it. I like the peel. I'm going uncircumcised.
Nate is a man of class that likes his orange juice with the
I
pulp.
think it depends on the potato that you're using.
Yeah, for sure. If it's a baby red, leave the skin. If it's a russet, take that skin off.
Yeah. Red potatoes, I like doing it with the skin on, for sure. But like yellow Yukon, like golds,
Red potato skin is just nice.
Yukon golds and stuff like that, I'll peel them.
Yeah.
Baking potatoes, it depends. Like I'll kind of like feel it out and be like, is this really tough? Because if so, I'm cutting it off. But if it's like a thinner skinned potato, I'll just chop that shit up and in there.
Thin skin potato.
Sir, I know you said baking potato, but I heard bacon potato in my head and was just thinking about how much I would really like a baked potato with some bacon in it.
Thin
right now.
skin potato was my
Bacon
nickname in
and such.
adulthood.
That's like when I call people pine cone. You were a thin skinned potato. You were an absolute
It's a good
pine cone.
insult.
What is... I think my favorite weird little insult like that is I heard someone with a very British voice call someone a walnut once. And that just really
Fucking
got me.
walnut. That's like, it makes me think of, was it Married with Children? There's just this episode where Bud looks at Kelly and goes, "Kelly, you lug nut." What a great insult.
All right. This next question is also a picture comes in from Jeff. It's an image of an asteroid destroying the Earth from an astronaut on the moon's perspective. If you were this astronaut, what will be your first sentence?
Oopsie.
I mean, yeah.
There would be a long, long silence.
Yeah.
I would say, no, not the Earth. That's where I keep all my stuff.
Just look down at it and be like, always has been.
Always has been.
Then I'll look at Nate, always will be. And then we bump this. No, in that moment, what really could you say? Like,
not much, because I can only imagine the asteroid impact hitting the moon would have devastating effects immediately on the moon as well. So, like, you would lose all the gravitational... I think you would die pretty quickly after that asteroid hit the Earth.
Yeah, you would be on borrowed time, especially even if you got back into your shuttle. Your shuttle's only going to have so much oxygen before it runs out, and you need to go land on the Earth, and you can't because it's gone. So
I can't even imagine you survive the impact for very long, because like that's gonna blow chunks from the Earth to the moon. Like,
depends on how long it would take them to make that distance.
Yeah,
so it might be you've got an hour. You might not say shit for that whole hour, because what the fuck are you gonna say? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back in the thing. I'm gonna take my suit off and I'm gonna jerk off. So I'm gonna spend the rest of my life avoiding the jism floating around in there like a game, and then I just vaporize. It'd be great. I
guess I just wish I had a cigarette at that point.
Right? We can't light it in space. It's a vacuum of air. This sucks. Smoke them if you got them. We got them, but we can't. Where it's like, I'd be happy. I just have my grizzly sitting there and I just spit out the window and just let it float up into space.
Oh, man. All right.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I hate. Look, I'm that guy that if there is ever viable commercial space travel, I will never do it. I am already scared enough standing on the surface of this planet. I am not going into goddamn space.
Yeah. What if we drink you some...
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to space. I will die with my feet on the ground.
We can drink the milk and go into space, have a bit of the ultraviolence. It'll be fun, dude.
I was trying to do the A-team, but that works too.
When I think drinking milk and anything like that, I'm just like, oh yeah, bull stamina, or whatever the fuck, testosterone.
I remember one of the guys on the A-team was afraid of flying, so they'd always had to trick him into drinking drugged milk to get him to go on a plane.
Yeah.
I ain't going on no plane.
I don't remember if it was Mr.
Pretty sure it was Mr. T that was that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I didn't want to say.
No, I think you're right. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next question, because thinking about space for too long freaks me the fuck out. This next question comes in from Dalton. Which SpongeBob song slaps the hardest? Sweet Victory, Ripped Pants, The Grill Is Not a Home, Krusty Krab Pizza, The Campfire Song, Goofy Goober Rock, Gary Come Home, or The Very First Christmas? And I don't know how you can look at this and not immediately just say it's Sweet Victory.
Oh, yeah.
See, I was thinking Sweet Victory seems like the really obvious answer. It's like the most memed, ascended SpongeBob song. But I really do think Gary Come Home does something kind of similar, but hits harder for me.
Personally, if I'm picking a favorite of these songs, it's Ripped Pants, because that's fucking hilarious every time.
Me and Nate.
Good point. The wording is slaps.
Which slaps hardest, I think it has to be Sweet Victory, personally.
Sweet, sweet, sweet victory. I'm in full agreement with Nate. Slaps hardest is probably Sweet Victory, but my favorite is Ripped Pants. There's a song that's not included on here, and it was called out. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, it was Fun. F is for friends that do stuff together. U is for you and me. That one also goes hard.
The thing is, that one does not make my top list because I always get it cross-pollinated with the Friendship Junction or whatever thing from Saturday Night Live.
What's your function?
I don't remember what the exact... Friendship Station? It was called something like that.
Fill up my mouth with your bodily function.
Oh, God.
I do not think you should sing that at Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, I thought it said Schoolhouse Cock.
No, that's even worse.
Why would that be better?
Our next question comes in from Jeff, which is a part 2 of his question about your first game for each Nintendo console. This time he wants to know the first game you played. So he changed a little bit, not owned or bought, but first game you played for each gen of PlayStation. So PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. I can tell you right now, I never owned or played a PS3, PS4, or PS5.
I also didn't own a 4 or 5, and I don't think I've ever played anyone else's, unless you count playing like WWE on one of my friends. But I think he might have an Xbox Series and not a PlayStation, so I don't know. So I guess mine for PlayStation 1 would have probably been... I want to say it's Parappa the Rapper, actually. It might not be the first game, but it's the first game I remember forming memories of, and it's the game that made me want to get a PlayStation.
And I know this can't be the first PlayStation game I played, because I played whatever you brought home, right? But the first one I really remember having vivid memories of is Final Fantasy VII, I think, and Final Fantasy VIII.
We got 8 before 7, so
yeah,
it had to have been 8.
8 was my favorite, and that's probably why it's...
Because we went back and got...
I say it's probably why it's one of my favorite Final Fantasies, because it was one of the first ones other than the NES one that I played.
I also feel like with the Final Fantasy games, the way we did it, we usually shared a save file until one of us just took over and it became their file. I think Final Fantasy VIII was one of the ones that you ended up beating on, like handling the controller, whereas 7 were mine.
PlayStation 1.
PS1. Yeah.
Man.
Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil is one of the original games that I owned, but I think like the game that I remember playing the most earliest, probably the first Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Followed.
I'm almost surprised it's not.
I mean, I was
gonna say I'm almost surprised it's not a Tomb Raider game.
No, yeah, Tomb Raider was there too. Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely know if it wasn't Parappa in particular, it was almost certainly a game from a demo disc, because the PlayStation 1 era had so many magazine demo discs.
I was subbed to the PlayStation magazine all through PS1 and PS2.
Hell yeah.
So like at one point I had stacks on stacks of those demo discs. I wish I knew where they were at. You can.
Oh yeah, there's got to be some real nostalgia in them. Especially when they got to the point where they didn't just put games on them. They started putting like previews and music videos and trying to make like whole video magazines.
There are some ISO/ROM sites that you can find that have those demo discs where you can emulate them. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. It's worthless, but it's pretty cool for the nostalgia blast. Being like, holy shit, I remember this menu and all that kind of stuff. It's neat.
Yeah. And then for PS2, I want to say like the games that I remember the most playing in the PS2 era were NCAA football games.
Makes sense. I really don't remember what the game we got with the PlayStation 2
was. It like Final Fantasy X? Because that's like the only thing I could...
It might have been Final Fantasy.
That's the only other thing besides...
We might have got
that's like the one main thing besides football games that I can think of, because I got really into Madden and NCAA football games at that time.
Yeah, there was a lot of football games, a lot of rhythm games, and...
Frequency.
That's in Final Fantasy. That's about it. Because I definitely remember playing In the Groove, DDR,
Amplitude,
Guitar Hero.
There were 2 games. I can't remember which one came first, so I'm going to give you both. But the 2 PS2 games I remember sinking a lot of time into, Jack and Daxter, and then SOCOM, U.S. Navy SEALs.
SOCOM these nuts, friend.
Sometime close after that, getting Ratchet and Clank. Which, Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank, 2 are the greatest platformers ever.
I really feel like if I had been playing those games at that time, I would have...
Yeah, see, I was like... Stalin, you're a bit younger than me, but I was like in my full high school swing when those games were... those systems were out, so it was... And I was a football player, so I was playing the football games more than anything.
And I did appreciate...
To be fair, that run of Madden and NCAA games were awesome.
I did appreciate a football game. Oh, go ahead.
Especially, I love that they had like the NFL Europe teams and the 1AA schools.
Oh yeah, because I got to play as Western Kentucky University in the NCAA games before I even got to go to college, so I was all about it.
Yeah, dude. I had for the PlayStation 1, I had NFL Extreme 2.
Nice.
And those were a blast because they were like Blitz on crack.
Yeah. But 3, 4, and 5, that's all you boys. I have no experience with any of those systems.
Man, the first game I played on PlayStation 3, I think, was Infamous. Though the game that I put the most time in early on was probably MAG, which you've heard me talk about before. It was the massive action game.
Yeah, I remember all the MAG stuff you talked about before. Yeah,
that game's fantastic. Just the 120, the teams of 128 on 128 were madness.
Yeah,
that sounds so cool.
It was literal warfare.
As a kid, I always really wanted that, for there to be a massively multiplayer shooter that I could play that was like real time, almost a war. Yeah, this is my first PlayStation 3 game. I got it with the system. And Dark Souls 2, Prepare to Die, or Black Armor Edition.
Nice. That's the black sheep of the series, too.
Yeah, but it was new when I got it because I had a lot of coworkers at the time who were really into Dark Souls 1, and they were all really hyped that 2 was about to come out. And I'm like, well, I have the money to buy a PlayStation. I'll go ahead and do this. And so I did. And I was playing Dark Souls 2 and chatting with him for a while until I kind of fell off because I wasn't terribly good at it. And I kept forgetting what I was doing.
So fucking hard.
Yeah. That game had some weird changes. Like, enemies would stop respawning after you killed them 10 times. So you couldn't just grind the basic monster.
I'll wait until I make Dark Souls Remaster my next host pick. Bwahahaha.
Could happen. It could happen.
So about 4 and 5 for you, Dalton. I don't think you got a 5, did you? So I think you had a 4, though, right?
No, I have not had the opportunity to play a 5, but I can tell you what would be the first thing I play on that, which is the Astrobot game that comes on the PS5, because I watched PlayStation Access stream that, and they were trying to get the best times between each other, and it was such a fun stream to watch that I'm like, I would really like to play.
I thought you were going to say it's going to be the built-in game because the PlayStation 5 has no games.
Oh, no, it's got some games, but no, that's just, I really like Astrobot. He's a cool new, not spokesperson, what's the word I'm looking for? Mascot.
Mascot?
Yeah, mascot. PlayStation 4. My PS4 came with, it was white. I got the white PS4, and it came with Destiny and Infamous Second Son. So those were the first games that I played for PS4. Neither were particularly amazing, but they were good console launches. Obviously, Destiny spawned into Destiny 2, and that became its whole thing.
I just sent a list of every PS3 or PS5 exclusive, and there's like 12 of them.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about exclusives. I'm just saying you can play games on PS5. Like, there are a bunch of games that you can play.
Yeah.
I've only really heard of a couple of these games too. Like, yeah, they have Spider-Man 2, and they have and Final Fantasy Rebirth. Those I'll give them credit for those. Those are legit exclusives. The Demon's Souls remake was supposedly pretty bad.
No, man, everybody loved that I knew that played that played the original Demon's Souls.
I remember people just having a lot of complaints with it taking a lot of the soul out of the game, but I could be wrong. I've never played Demon, I only played the Darks.
Word. Right. Well, all right then. Well, our next question's from Adam. He wants to know, what's the best cartoon adapted from an R-rated movie? For example, RoboCop or Toxic Avengers?
Huh, that's a fun question. I want to see if I can find a list of
Yeah, because I'm racking my brain, and I'm having trouble thinking of it, because I was immediately thought Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and I just looked it up, and that movie was rated PG, so...
Spawn.
Shit, well...
Ooh.
Spawn is an interesting cop-out, because that's not a kid's cartoon. That's exactly as violent as the movie.
Well, it
talking
doesn't
about the HBO
specify
Spawn?
kids cartoon. It just says best cartoon adapted from an
It sure
R-rated
doesn't.
movie. And I think I'm going to go Spawn, the animated series they did for HBO, because
That's
I had a VHS of that. And
I
that
remember
was fucking,
actually-
like, I watched that way too young. I need to go back and watch that again. I haven't watched it in 20 years.
I mean, if you're going to do something like that, I remember really enjoying the Clerks animated series. But I think if I'm going to stick to the intended topic of this, I'm going to go with... I remember really liking the Conan the Adventurer cartoon from 1992.
What do you mean intended topic? It says best cartoon adapted from an R-rated movie.
Yeah, and then the examples they give are all stuff like Toxic Crusaders.
RoboCop.
And, RoboCop, which are clearly children's cartoons made from R-rated movies to sell action figures of the R-rated movies to kids.
How the
which
fuck
is
did you make
probably-
RoboCop into a kid-friendly cartoon?
Less dick
That's
shooting.
a fantastic question. How did they make Toxic
Less dick
Avengers?
shooting. In both. I don't have an answer.
Dick.
Well, no, because it's not an adaptation. I'll just say that Batman the animated series is really good, but it's not adapted from an R-rated movie. But I don't have a good answer for this. Sorry, Adam.
DuckTales.
All right.
There was apparently a Highlander cartoon from
I
1994.
vaguely remember
That seems
that.
kinda
I
crazy.
vaguely remember that one.
They were going to do a season 2, but they're going to be only one.
Hey. All right. So the last question of the week comes in from our buddy Jeff. If you were a child actor, would your family keep you in check and you'd turn out okay, or would you grow up with a serious drug problem like most child stars do?
I think I would take the Macaulay Culkin route where I would kind of disappear and probably be really messed up for a while and then come back and be pretty normal and cool.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be fucked up, but that's just me. I'm glad that was never a life journey I went on, because I don't think I would have handled it well.
What?
You also seem like you would have been a diva rock star type of celebrity, I think. You would have been making so many problems and smashing up hotels.
Yeah, I can't imagine I would have been good. Huh?
Nate only wanted blue Skittles.
Yeah.
There are green Skittles. This TV is going out this window.
Yeah. I don't think I would have handled it the best. I'm being perfectly honest. I just don't.
I already grew up with a pretty serious drug problem. So, I mean, I got over it. So that's good. I don't take pills anymore.
Yeah.
But that's no fault of my parents. So I really think, like, if I were the family breadwinner, they probably would have done more of a job to keep me in check. So I would say they probably would have kept me in check. Although I probably would have been getting, high on my own.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you had the money to make it available, I feel like that's often people's limiting factor.
Who knows? I could have gotten a lot of money and decided to shit on a woman's head while my therapist fucked her.
Jesus Christ.
God.
Why do I feel like that's something that probably really happened to the guy from Real
Goddamn.
That's Vince McMahon.
Goddamn, pal.
Oh, it's Vince McMahon. That's
Yeah. All right.
There's so many Vince McMahon stories. I honestly forget that there are that many. Vince
Awful
McMahon
person.
stories.
Awful person.
Highly, I think I've said this on the show before, highly recommend the 6-part Behind the Bastards episode about the history of Vince McMahon. It's great. Comedian Sean Baby is one of the guests on it, and even he hasn't heard a lot of that stuff, despite him also being a huge wrestling fan. It was awesome.
All right. Well, that covers our questions. I guess that just leaves house cleaning, Mr. Dalton.
Yeah, but before we get into house cleaning, we do have one other thing to get on. And that is our next game.
Oh, yeah.
Our next game is the fan-chosen game. And that means it's time for you boys to get your first taste of a Neptunia game, because we are playing Mega Dimension Neptunia V2, otherwise known as Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2.
Okay, now there are 99 different series of Neptunia games, so can you explain to us what Mega Dimension is?
It is, so, no. No and yes. So,
No is fine.
there's you'll see.
I'm okay with that. I kind of just want to go in blind to it and see what happens.
Fair enough.
The only thing I want to give you, and I think I've told you all this before in passing, is that each of the girls that you're going to meet all represent, like,
Consoles.
Neptune represents Sega, Blonde represents Nintendo, Vert represents Xbox, and Noir represents PlayStation. So just keep.
I do see that you and Ariesoradam have played this game recently, so that's cool.
I'm going to start over. Because I was playing it the other day, I loaded up the save I was playing, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea what's going on. It had been a year since I had played the game or so I'm like, yeah, I don't remember anything, so I'm just going to start over.
Yeah. What is our time frame with this? Are we just going to play it until how much we play it and talk about it, or are you wanting to go whole hog on this one?
I do not expect either of you to like this game enough to beat it.
That's fair.
I would like you to put at least enough time that we can get a decent conversation out of it, but I do not expect you guys to beat it. I don't think I'll beat it. I will eventually in my own time, but I'm not going to rush it over 2 weeks. And I don't think
that makes sense to me.
Warrant a short game or anything like that.
Cool. That's what I wanted to know.
Just kind of hope. I'm kind of hoping that it grabs me more in the charming characters that people like and not the fringy waifu type of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. Because it could go either way for me,
I find the characters endearing, and I really find them funny, and the game makes me laugh a lot.
I will say for my money that I'm on the community content tab of Steam right now for the game, and one of the very top things is a mashup between one of the songs from this game and the Space Jam theme by Quad City DJs. So that does give me a pretty good feeling about the community.
Oh, yeah, that's like I think we were talking about this while we were playing Red Dead Online, and it's like anytime that you're looking at reviews for a game and someone's just saying nep, they're referring to Neptune. And that's their way of saying that this is a good game because they love Neptune. So they're just like nep.
Oh, there's a cute little picture of Nep that's all like squashed down in chibi eyes, and it says, "If you see this image while scrolling, you've been visited by the Nep of sleepiness. Good sleep and Neps will come to you, but only if you comment Nepu on this post." So let's all give her a Nepu because this is pretty cute.
I fucking love Neptune. I hope you guys enjoy her as much as I do because her fourth wall breaking and stuff is just really funny. And
Hey, this is a pretty adorable character, not gonna lie. It's a cute drawing.
It has its moments of fan service, right? But it's not going to be any more gratuitous than an anime you might watch. You know?
Yeah, like I'm seeing a picture right next to that where they're all kind of in some like swimsuits or whatever, and it could be less tasteful and more tasteful. It's fine. It's like if you compare it to like a Hot Springs episode of an anime, it's not even quite there. Oh, okay. This one's a little bit more.
We know this is gonna happen. Let's move on.
So yeah. Anyways,
so I can order a pizza.
The next poll winner that'll be the next fan game is going to be Monster Hunter World. So
did Monster Hunter World officially win?
Is happy about that. And the next poll that is up right now, if you want to come vote on that, you can come join the Discord, bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. Your choices are The King of Fighters 15, Pillars of Eternity,
Yay.
Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic.
Interesting. I'm really surprised this podcast has never done code.
Yeah, right. Final Fantasy 15 and Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm. Lots of RPG for presents in there. Or big RPGs, I mean.
2 games that are the 15th entry. 4 RPGs. 2 of which are by EA and BioWare.
I think me and Nate have already kind of hinted at who we're cheering for in this upcoming poll, but I like those 15s. Yeah, they do sound pretty fun.
I have to remember that each one gets a vote just by existing, so I try not to count those. So King of Fighters has no votes right now. Pillars of Eternity has 2. KOTOR, surprisingly, has none. Final Fantasy 15 has 1, and Mass Effect has 4. So Mass Effect is winning that right now, but we never know. I would like to go on a bro trip, but I would also like to fuck an alien, so like I'm cool with either of those.
Yeah, it feels like this is a no bad decisions one. I'm pretty happy.
It really is, because even Pillars of Eternity, like, that's a CRPG, so it's kind of in the style of Baldur's Gate, but there are way more quality of life stuff that makes it just way better to play than those older games. So
if it wins, are we just going to play Baldur's Gate 3 instead?
No, because that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be like, all right, this is going to be a game we play over the year, and then then we might take 2 years to play because it's a long game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the current poll if you want to come check that out. Let me pull up our my little house cleaning thing, and then we can get on out of here so Nate can get a pizza in his butthole. If you would like to join the Discord, like I said already, but I'm going to say it again, bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. That'll take you to a hot link that'll pop, give you an invite, and you can come join in on the shenanigans. You can vote in the polls, which is like the poll that I just read you. There's a short game poll. There's a retro game vote poll. Come join and just talk with us. We like to have fun. Everyone in there is super chill. I promise there has been little to no issues ever in there, which I am very, very proud of. If you would like to check out the website, which is kept up to date by Dane, bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast. Just capitalize that phonetically, and you'll be good to go. If you would like to donate to the show, and it helps me pay bills, keep the lights on, pay for podcast hosting, all that yada, 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 patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast. You can donate $1 or more. It'll get you the episodes early, ad-free, and you get to hear our little banter section in the beginning of the episodes that is only for Patreon. And if you donate $10 or more, you can get your name read out on each and every episode like these wonderful people. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of June-iper, Jeff, the original Expendable, Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube, Ariesoradam, R.I.P. to his podcast, Revival and Extinction, Team Retrogue, go check him out over on YouTube, Mr. Puzzles, Dane himself, and Chad, the Mad Lad. No God damn C, and his last name, Shaffer. And let me scroll back down. If you want to buy a shirt, tsmpproductions.threadless.com. You like my music, nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. Shout out to Yabs Pod, that's on hiatus. Shout out to the JRPG Report that I do bi-weekly with Nikolov, Mr. Team Retrogue. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. I think I just saw Nate's dog in the background. That makes me happy. Is there anything that you boys would like to plug?
Raise hail, praise Dale.
Raise hail, praise Dale.
Raise hail, praise Dale.
I would like to plug naps. Naps are great. Someone take a nap.
I had a nap yesterday. It was wonderful.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking
about. On
about.
that note, everybody, until next time, take it easy.
I forgot what our sign-off was. I almost said, I'm sorry. I figured that out the moment he said, and stop.